Tonight, traffic and tardiness.
Very annoying. And then I got to find parking. Then I got to walk through all this. It's just a hazard.
Construction around campus, keeping Fanshawe students from getting to class on time. Plus, powering southwestern Ontario.
450 megawatts of power to the region, enough to energize a city the size of London.
Groundbreaking on a major transmission line for Lambton County. And the Premier's push to remove Ontario's speed cameras.
He would support walking back. A life-saving public health measure like this is shocking and disgusting.
Doug Ford says if cities don't take them out, he will.
It's nothing but a tax grab.
CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight at Fanshawe College and frustration from students trying to get on campus. There's major construction around the college causing traffic delays. And as Brian Bicknell reports, many students have been showing up late.
Somewhere beyond the dirt, dust, and debris, there's a place people seek out higher learning. But some are having a hard time seeking out their classes and making the grade on time.
They changed the bus loop to one area and then another, and didn't really give anyone any information about it. And I don't drive, so I can't rely on the bus, because if I take the bus, I'll be 20 minutes late and I'll have to leave for an hour before. So I sometimes take Ubers, and not even the Ubers know how to navigate this area. And it's not even updated on Google Maps.
This is what Fanshawe College students arrived to for their first week of school. The front of Fanshawe, facing Oxford, under construction with no vehicle access. Oxford with reduced lanes and ongoing construction at Fanshawe College Boulevard.
Pretty annoying, especially with Oxford Street too. I commute from down there. It takes me about 20 minutes just because of construction. And then I got to find parking. Then I got to walk through all this. It's just a hazard.
We're both commuting together, so that sort of helps. But at the end of the day, we got to find alternative routes. But the first day was maybe 15 minutes just sitting in that traffic.
And all that activity at Fanshawe College is taking place as work continues here at the intersection of Oxford and Highbury. Already one of the busiest in the city. Commuters know what a challenge it is at any time of day. This is all part of the East London link for rapid transit. Fanshawe says it's working with both London Transit and the city to make the commute to school more bearable.
To try and mitigate those delays as much as possible. We've got our access on Oxford is going to be closed for the next couple of weeks. We've made improvements on our Fanshawe College access. We've actually had this work with the city to get temporary lights installed at our north entrance off of Cheapside. So that will greatly enhance the traffic flow through that area.
McAvoy says construction around Fanshawe is expected to wrap within the next few weeks. Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
Hi there. We have a beautiful evening underway. A nice southerly flow. Temperatures this afternoon in the low 20s. Comfortable conditions holding as we head into the evening at around 20 to 22 degrees across the region. Hard pressed to find too many clouds out there. We have to go all the way to northern Ontario, where we have some rainfall and some heavier pockets of rain, prompting a rainfall warning. Now, low pressure will be riding to the north, but all of that moisture will stay north of southern Ontario. So tonight, mainly clear to just a few clouds overnight. Winds continuing out of the south, becoming light and variable as we push toward midnight. A few clouds overnight, patchy fog as we head through the early morning. I'll take you through the forecast. Summer temperatures holding and a day-to-day warming as we head into the weekend. I'll have your local forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Julie. Premier Doug Ford is calling speed cameras a tax grab. He's urging cities to get rid of them and threatening if they don't, he will. As Alison Hurst reports, they become a particularly polarizing issue in Toronto.
In the East End, on the north side and downtown, speed cameras have been damaged.
I hope they catch the people doing that.
Toronto police say 16 speed cameras right across the city were vandalized overnight.
Officers are analyzing each occurrences to gather evidence and identify weaknesses. We have additional investigative resources looking into each one of these occurrences.
The mayor says she wants police to track down the vandals and bring them to justice.
They're setting up in community and school zones. Kids are going back to school this week. For heaven's sake, stop tampering with public safety device, which is what this speed camera is about.
This comes just days after a speed camera on Parkside Drive was cut down for the 7th time. Toronto police released images of suspects in dark clothing allegedly damaging that camera.
If you want to add cameras, maybe you need to encase them in concrete. Maybe you need to have some sort of fencing apparatus that's more difficult to prevent them from being cut down. But what we are doing right now is not working.
The speed cameras bring in millions of dollars every year to the city. The premier says cities should scrap them altogether, adding there are other traffic calming measures that can be taken.
It's nothing but a tax grab. So, you know something? Hopefully the cities will get rid of them, like Mayor Del Duca did in Vaughan, or I'm going to help them get rid of them very shortly.
A gut punch to traffic safety advocate Jess Speaker, who says she was hit by a reckless driver in 2015.
He would support walking back. A life-saving public health measure like this is shocking and disgusting.
Residents we spoke with say there's a place for those cameras.
I think we need those speed cameras so people won't speed. And I'm not too thrilled with Doug Ford saying he's going to make us get rid of them.
I think they've really got their place. Yeah, especially on beside the park, on Parkside.
I'm okay with them, yeah. The speed limit for a reason.
The city's contract with the company that handles the speed cameras requires that they are replaced within 30 days. Alison Hurst, CTV News.
The province's Special Investigations Unit has cleared London police officers of any wrongdoing following a police chase back in May. According to the SIU's report, provincial police initially responded to a domestic violence call in Lucan, where a suspect rammed into 2 police cruisers, then fled toward London. Witnesses reported the driver was intoxicated. London police stopped the vehicle near Jacksway Crescent using a spike belt. According to the SIU, the driver resisted arrest. They were tased and then became unresponsive. Police then administered Narcan and began CPR. Then the suspect recovered in hospital. London police say they've charged a local teacher facing sexual assault charges with breaching his release orders. Jamie Kane was initially charged with sexually assaulting a student in late August. Police say he was recently found at a South End community center unsupervised in breach of his release order. Kane previously taught at Bonaventure Meadows Public School, and investigators say there may be additional victims. A driver crashed into a home in Byron this morning. London police were seen on Brayford Street this morning monitoring the scene. They say there were minor injuries and no one needed hospital treatment. According to witnesses, someone parked on the street reversed into the garage door and the home. Police have not said whether any charges are pending. Provincial police say they stopped a suspicious vehicle yesterday afternoon on Veterans Memorial Parkway, leading to a fentanyl seizure. They say a 33-year-old from London faces several charges, including identity fraud, drug trafficking, and driving while suspended. Police in Huron County say they've laid charges against 3 suspects following 3 property searches last week. According to OPP, the searches were carried out in Goderich and Seaforth, resulting in nearly $20,000 in drugs seized, as well as a fake gun and cash. They say a 32-year-old, 26-year-old, and 64-year-old face drug possession charges. A Grey County builder faces $75,000 in fines following an investigation by the Home Construction Regulatory Authority. The investigation found Lishkoff Build Design was building homes without a license and failed to enroll homes in the province's warranty plan. It also found the company's owner claimed to be a construction manager to avoid being classified as a builder. The owner was also ordered to pay an additional $130,000 in restitution to a buyer. A warm reception at City Hall today for a plan to expand 100 Kellogg Lane with high-rise buildings.
We're always happy to see an owner that embraces their obligations with respect to heritage positively.
The Planning Committee unanimously supported a proposal to build a 44-story tower plus two 30-story towers on former industrial sites surrounding the entertainment complex. That would add almost 1,000 residential units and expand the office space for as many as 200 new employees at Carfax. Councillors called it a mega project with transformational potential for the Old East Village.
What a great asset in the city. What a revitalization of an area, transformative buildings, and so much that could be done with so much potential. I'm really grateful that we're seeing that.
We're unlikely to see again in our lifetime some transformation of an old cereal factory into what is now, a multi-residential, multi-business entertainment complex.
A groundbreaking ceremony in Lambton County today for a major project powering southwestern Ontario. With more on the new transmission line and the partnerships formed to make it a reality, here's Sean Irvin.
Community leaders and the Provincial Ministry of Energy and Mines, Stephen Lesche, stand amid a backdrop of a future portion of the St. Clair transmission line. The initial stages of the $470 million project that has created 70 jobs are already underway.
The transmission line that we are breaking ground on today is expected to bring 450 megawatts of power to the region, enough to energize a city the size of London.
Once complete in 2028, the 64-kilometer line will stretch between the Courtright area and Chatham. It is one of several line projects in southwestern Ontario the Ford government insists is vital to the economy.
So that we never say no to a business or an investor that wants to create jobs and growth here in the province.
But getting to this day took communications and a new type of partnership. Multiple First Nations have been offered partial ownership.
A brilliant 50-50 equity model where Indigenous leaders and First Nation leaders are leading the way, owning the projects on their territories.
So we look forward to the future in this relationship that we form here today.
It's about being able to participate meaningfully in the economic future of Ontario so that we can provide for the next 7 generations.
But while this project has support, there is still concern about the future.
There's been learnings all along the way, and nothing is ever perfect. And as other lines get built in the future, we'll apply some of those learnings.
The sod turning comes at a time when Lambton County sits on a short list of larger power projects, including the potential of a nuclear facility. The minister said Tuesday the process is ongoing as it looks to meet a 75% increase in demand for power by 2050 in St. Clair Township. Sean Irvin, CTV News.
The mayor of Barrie has declared a citywide state of emergency over homeless encampments. He says there are escalating safety concerns after a double homicide and ongoing drug issues. With more, here's Heather Wright.
From Michael Gervais' front steps, the extent of Barrie's encampment challenges is clear. More than a dozen tents dot the sidewalk, a number he says is growing.
The drug use is rampant out here. It's nonstop. It's all day.
Gervais says in addition to drug use, violence is escalating as well. Recently, 2 pieces of metal rebar were thrown at his house.
One hit close to the door, and the other one came through the window.
Today, Barrie's mayor declared a state of emergency over homeless encampments, citing a recent double homicide, fires, overdoses, and excessive E. coli levels in the city's waterways.
It's not a safe environment for the folks who are living there. It's not a safe environment for those who are around them, who are walking by them, or who are permanent neighbors of encampments.
The emergency declaration covers all city-run public spaces, including parks, sidewalks, and trails. Mayor Alex Nuttall says it will allow staff to enforce encampment protocols more aggressively, including dismantling the sites considered most high risk. The city has also earmarked more resources for addiction, mental health, and housing. But Nuttall adds if people don't accept help and get off the street, they won't be allowed to stay in the city.
The folks who've been offered help and offered support, if they don't take it, that's their choice. That's not the people of Barrie's choice.
Encampments have been growing in cities across the country, especially since the pandemic. A lack of affordable housing, limited support services, and nowhere else to go have pushed many to live in tents. Those we spoke with today who didn't want to appear on camera worry about being forced to leave or forced into shelters where they don't want to go.
Advocates say simply removing encampments doesn't address the root issue, simply moves the problem elsewhere. Barrie has not said when they will begin removing these sites, but say it will likely take months. Heather Wright, CTV News, Barrie, Ontario.
There's deepening pessimism among Canadian developers after new numbers were released today showing housing starts flatlining across the country. With more on the numbers and the issues holding back home builders, here's Mike LeCouture.
The Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation says slowdowns in Vancouver and Toronto weighed on the overall number of housing starts, and there is a concern it could affect housing supply in the future. Home building in Toronto fell to its lowest level on a per capita basis since 1996. According to a report from Canada's National Housing Agency, Vancouver also saw a drop in housing starts compared to the first half of last year.
There's this slowdown in activity that will potentially recreate kind of those issues in terms of pressures on prices, pressures on rents.
The CMHC says pre-construction sales are slumping by double digits in Toronto, which is forcing developers to delay project launches in a city that is in desperate need of new homes.
The cost of construction has gone up drastically, and the number of people that are out there looking to buy has gone down again drastically as well.
A near record pace of apartment construction in Calgary, Edmonton, Montreal, Ottawa, and Halifax helped offset the sluggish numbers in Vancouver and Toronto. Developers believe cities could see even more growth without municipal development charges, which help pay for roads and sewers.
We need to be able to reduce that for, even if it means just completely eliminating it for a good period of time so that our industry can pick up.
Red tape is another complaint, which Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre would reduce with a suite of measures.
Get rid of the sales tax, cut the development charges in half, speed up the permits, zero tax on reinvested gains.
In a statement, a spokesperson for Housing Minister Gregor Robertson said the government is going to build homes at a pace and scale not seen in generations, pointing to a yet-to-be-announced program called Build Canada Homes. However, there are still no details on the measures the Liberals intend to implement. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
A transformation is underway at the London International Airport, getting ready for the inaugural Rock the Runway festival this weekend. With more on the performers and their brand new stage, here's Nick Paparella.
1, 2, 3. The stage is being set up at the London International Airport for one of the world's most popular performing artists.
It's the season of the sticks, and I saw your mom. She forgot that I existed, and it's...
Noah Kahn will be the Friday night headliner for Rock the Runway. With 24,000 tickets already sold, promoter Brad Jones says it's almost a sellout.
If you've experienced Rock the Park, it's just Rock the Park ×2. And come out, have fun. Like I said, there's just less than 1,000 tickets left for Friday night. Saturday's selling very well as well. And come out, have fun.
Back home to you.
On Saturday, Jones says it will be a smaller crowd on hand, with 10,000 coming out for the headliner Marshmallow. It's catering to a younger crowd.
Yeah, there'll be a big influx of students that will come out. The USC is really driving the Saturday night. That's the University Students' Council, of course.
Parking is available on the airport grounds, but Jones says with thousands coming out to the shows, concert goers should plan their trip.
You know, our key is to get everybody in here within, 30, 40 minutes from when they get close to the gates. Come early. Parking lots open at 3 o'clock. Gates to the venue open at 4 o'clock. So if you go on rocktherunway.ca, you can click on frequently asked questions. There's a full map. There's 3 main parking lots.
This is the first year for Rock the Runway, and based on an anticipated opening night sellout, Jones says it probably won't be the last.
What we're most excited about, Nick, is that, it was an idea between Scott from the airport and myself, and here we are a year later and about to host almost 40,000 people over the 2 days.
Split in half, that'll have to do.
Nick Paparella, CTV News.
Coming up, the global response after an unprecedented attack, the diplomatic shock sparked by Israel's unprovoked strike on Qatar. Plus, an Ontario community wrestling with the malicious introduction of artificial intelligence in local politics.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We begin tonight with Ontario's latest.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVLondon.ca, your home for news.
Celebrate the 90s with Fairway Fest at East Park, London on Saturday, September 20th. Featuring Naughty by Nature, Rob Bass, and more. Enter online at ctvlondon.ca to win a pair of tickets and meet and greet passes.
The Israeli military has carried out an attack on Qatari soil, claiming to target Hamas leaders hiding there. As Adrian Gobriel reports, it's an unprecedented strike with severe potential consequences.
Smoke paints the sky black on a dark day in Doha.
It certainly is an escalation of this war.
The deadly daylight air assault is believed to be Israel's first ever inside Qatar. This Hamas residence, now left with a gaping crater in the capital, is said to have been the target, just as the latest ceasefire proposal was being considered. Hamas says that 5 of its members were assassinated in the attack, including the son of exiled chief Halil al-Hayya. Though al-Hayya, seen here, who is believed to be the prime target, has survived, according to Hamas.
These are the same terrorists who planned, terrorist chiefs who planned, launched, and celebrated the horrific massacres of October 7th.
As Israel's prime minister took responsibility, the attack is sending shockwaves across the international community.
I condemn this flagrant violation of the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Qatar.
Britain's prime minister saying the priority must be an immediate ceasefire, the release of hostages, and a huge surge in aid into Gaza. In Israel, the families of hostages believe today's airstrikes may have sealed the fate of their loved ones.
Crushes the hopes of all of the families. It's just, it's devastating.
There were several days ago warnings from the Israeli Defense Forces Chief of Staff that Israel was going to start targeting Hamas's leaders no matter where in the world they might be.
Israel's air assault in Doha comes after Hamas's armed wing claimed responsibility for shooting and killing 6 people on Monday at this bus stop in the outskirts of Jerusalem. The latest escalation comes as Israel issued an evacuation order today for residents in Gaza City, with the IDF sharing its intentions for a full-scale operation. The military maneuver reportedly involved 15 Israeli fighter jets firing 10 separate airstrikes on one single target. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto. The Prime Minister and his caucus were in Edmonton today, kicking off 3 days of meetings before the new fall sitting of Parliament. MPs return to Ottawa in less than a week for what's expected to be a busy session. The Liberal government has promised to table a budget in October, one that spends less while invests more. The American trade war will also be a top priority. Last week, Mark Carney announced a series of measures to help workers and businesses hit hardest by U.S. tariffs. A potential mayoral candidate in a community east of Toronto says he's reached out to police after receiving a threatening voicemail. It's another municipal politician's voice on the message, but there are claims it was faked using AI. John Venevalley Rao reports.
I have a quick question. As a local politician, Karina Trail is often on camera, but instead of speaking publicly about the explosive allegation against her, instead she issued a written statement saying she never threatened this former police detective after he received a message on his phone late last month from someone identifying as and sounding like Trail, cursing and saying he should abandon running for mayor in next year's election.
And that if I don't, she will come to my house and kill me and sexually assault my wife.
Convinced the voicemail was left by Trail, Tom Dingwall notified police and called for her to step down. Initially, Trail addressed the situation, in part saying it was an unfortunate circumstance she was dealing with. But in a new statement writes, I want to state clearly and unequivocally, I did not create this message. I have been advised that artificial intelligence technology was involved. Portions of the voicemail were my voice, but other parts were artificially generated. Adding, I have not addressed this issue until now, as we were working to ascertain the source of the message. It is true, replicating a voice using AI has become incredibly easy by using dedicated websites or downloading software and providing a sample of the person's voice.
The tools nowadays, with around 20 seconds worth of voice, you can do an awfully good job. Any public figure has no hope of protecting their voice.
Clarington's mayor says because the matter is under police investigation, he can't really comment. He says Trail did not appear at a council meeting this morning and that the matter has been a distraction.
It's not helpful to public's confidence in the system at all. So a distraction, yes. All-consuming, no.
Trail says she is cooperating with the investigation and plans to stay on as counselor. Meanwhile, it's not clear whether police are looking into whether AI was involved, as they are currently not commenting on the case. John Venavelli-Rouse, CTV News, Clarington, Ontario.
On the desk now with Julie Atchison, and as we were talking off air, setting up your forecast, normally we do these little chit-chats, and there just isn't that much to talk about right now as we close out summer, just because it's been so calm.
I know, I feel like I'm almost in cruise mode. Normally we have cold fronts coming in, rounds of thunderstorms, and that just hasn't...
Good problem to have for people who want to be outside this time of year.
Yeah,
not a whole lot of work for you, though.
Hopefully I'm not jinxing us or anything like that, but yes, it's been beautiful, and that weather continues. We even have some beach weather in the forecast, although this time of year, things getting quiet in our beach communities, of course. Not too many people out and about. Everyone's back to school and many back to work. 23 degrees are high in London today. Heading to Huron and Perth County, the temperature high coming in at 21 to 22. So really beautiful weather. We have high pressure maintaining its control over the Great Lakes, although it has now moved off to the east. We have a return flow, so you remember air flows clockwise around the high, and it's picking up this nice southerly flow. Although the winds are light, we had a bit of a breeze pickup this afternoon, but the winds will be light and variable overnight. We have some rainfall in northern Ontario. Other than that, it's fairly quiet. A few watches and warnings across the country with some thunderstorms moving through the Okanagan, in through British Columbia, but the warmth holding across the southern prairies. We do have a frost advisory tonight in through parts of Newfoundland. The rainfall warning that was in effect in northern Ontario has come to an end, and still a few thunderstorms moving through. As we take a look at the forecast model again, quiet conditions. A few fair weather clouds, so we'll go to mainly clear overnight to just a few clouds. And through the day tomorrow, we'll start with sunshine and bring in a mix of sun and cloud in the afternoon. Now, what you will notice is temperatures are going to start to creep up. Now, we've been extremely lucky this week in terms of low humidity. We're going to hold on to the lower humidity, although temperatures are going to start to move towards the mid-20s. Overnight, not quite as cool as it was last night. 8 degrees in London, 8 as we head towards Mount Forest, and KW 7 degrees, 13 to 15 near Port Stanley and Long Point. Waking up to mainly sunny conditions for your Wednesday. If you are fairbound tomorrow, expecting a high of 24 degrees under a mix of sun and cloud. And again, the winds will remain light and variable. Our metal roof outlet forecast for Thursday, sunshine, and we're up to 25, and we'll hit 26 degrees on Friday with mainly sunny conditions. Saturday, a cold front will arrive. Now, this front looks to wash out over the area, but we could see some showers develop heading into Saturday afternoon. Now, we were talking a little bit about this together yesterday, and I was mentioning we could see a bit of a shift in the weekend forecast, and that's what we are seeing this evening. So a bit of rain moving in Saturday afternoon, evening. Clouds lingering early Sunday, and then back into a mix of sun and cloud Monday and Tuesday. Daytime highs from 22 to 23. That's where we want to be this time of year. It's going to heat up heading into the weekend. In through Huron, Perth, Grey, and Bruce County, you have lots of sunshine to a mix of sun and cloud through the day tomorrow. Then Thursday, sunshine and 24. We're up to 25, and overnight lows jumping to 11 to 12 degrees. So coming in a bit above normal. Some showers in the forecast on Saturday, mainly cloudy on Sunday, and back into a mix of sun and cloud Monday and Tuesday. We'll be looking for some rain on Saturday. It has been extremely dry once again. I doubt this will be our drought buster, but in terms of our forecast, that'll be the next opportunity for measurable rain. So enjoy the sunshine and warming temperatures heading into the weekend. Carlyle, back to you.
Thanks very much, Julie. Still ahead, a caution for used car buyers. The mileage may be higher than it appears, and determining with certainty can prove tricky. Apple unveiled its next lineup of iPhones today. The iPhone 17 will be the company's first release since the trade war launched. President Donald Trump and his administration have repeatedly insisted iPhones be made in the U.S. instead of overseas. However, analysts say that would take years and would result in substantial cost increases. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency has issued a recall notice for bakery products sold in London. According to the agency, the affected products include baklava and pistachio fingers sold at Junaid Sweets that may contain salmonella. There have been several recalls linked to pistachio products since July. The affected products were sold from May 15th to July 30th. Recalled products should be returned at the point of purchase or thrown out. A popular grocery store in Toronto is temporarily closed after failing a dine-safe inspection. It's a Farm Boy franchise which received a red card from Toronto Public Health for 4 infractions. 2 of those infractions have been deemed crucial, related to rodents on premises and failing to protect food from contamination. Farm Boy officials said in a statement they are taking immediate action while carrying out a comprehensive review through a pest management company. A warning for anyone looking for a used vehicle: beware of odometer rollbacks. As Pat Foran reports, a Carfax report can help reveal potential fraud, but it's not guaranteed.
What did you first think when they said the odometer might be rolled back?
Well, I was completely surprised and taken back by it.
Gabriel Graziano of Woodbridge purchased a 2019 Ford F-150 2 years ago. At the time, he checked the Carfax report, and it showed no issues with the mileage. But he just went to trade in the truck to buy another vehicle, and now the Carfax report states potential odometer rollback.
Obviously, it's going to affect my resale value and my trade-in value, which it did.
The truck currently has 153,000 kilometers on the odometer, but now it appears the actual mileage is closer to 200,000. Graziano believes the odometer was rolled back by about 44,000 kilometers. He went back to the dealership where he bought the truck, seeking compensation for the added mileage.
I was not given the proper information when I purchased the vehicle. I want them to take the truck back.
Carfax Canada told CTV News the odometer records in question were not available to Carfax Canada when the individual purchased the vehicle and therefore not displayed on the vehicle history report. However, after further investigation, we believe there is a strong possibility this vehicle's odometer has been rolled back. We did a story with Dennis Estevez, who purchased a truck with 184,000 kilometers, but the odometer had been rolled back from 320,000.
Clearly, it was rolled back, and it needed a lot of work.
Criminals can use tools to change odometer readings. The Ontario Motor Vehicle Industry Council, OMVIC, recommends you get a Carfax report, a used vehicle information package, and take a vehicle to a mechanic for an inspection. After CTV News reached out to the dealer where Graziano bought his truck, it agreed to compensate him for the rolled back odometer, which was great news for him.
Very pleased that CTV came through and the dealership came through, and looking forward to getting the new truck.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Strength in the energy sector helped Canada's main stock index finish slightly higher. The TSX gained 35 points. In New York, the Dow added 196, the Nasdaq up 81. The Canadian dollar fell 0.07 cents today. On commodity markets, gold gained almost $5 an ounce. Oil is up 37 cents a barrel. Later on CTV News, the underwater investigation sending cameras down to the so-called Mount Everest of Lake Superior. Welcome back. A message of vigilance from BC fire officials even as the season shifts to fall. As Dimitra Maragos reports, there are still more than 100 wildfires burning across the province, keeping many evacuation orders from lifting.
Fires continue to burn throughout the province. As of Monday afternoon, there were more than 140 wildfires active around the province, 34% of which are considered out of control, meaning
they have the potential to spread further.
And things aren't slowing down.
Since the long weekend, we've seen a large uptick in wildfires.
With some routes still impacted as a result of the wildfires and over 1,000 BC residents affected by evacuation orders and evacuation alerts. Minister Parmar says this should be expected.
With recent above seasonal temperatures and continued lightning throughout the province, we still have more work to do. This is the new normal. Longer and more intense wildfire seasons.
Environment Canada issuing a severe thunderstorm watch for parts of southern British Columbia.
It did spread some rain, and some areas got locally 10 to 15 millimeters of rain.
However, Loney saying the rain simply wasn't enough and poses new issues.
If we have instances of dry lightning where not enough rain is falling at the same time as when the thunder shower is moving through, then you might see more fire starts.
Minister Parmar also highlighted the importance of not flying drones where there's an active wildfire, saying last week a civilian's drone actually hit a plane, causing it to be grounded. The fine for this could be up to $100,000. Dimitri Marigo, CTV News, Vancouver.
Meanwhile, fire crews in Nova Scotia say they've made progress battling a wildfire threatening a community where many families have been allowed to return home.
With all of that news and all the work that's been gone on, we are pleased to say that today that this fire is now classed as being held. That means that the fire is not likely to grow or move as long as conditions don't change.
It's been nearly a month since the Long Lake fire ignited. It has been considered out of control until yesterday. Provincial officials say that's based on current fire behavior, air quality, and road access. They say 20 families have been allowed back to their properties, with more than 100 households still under an evacuation order. A major mining merger is in the works, which includes a Vancouver-based company.
Together, Anglo-Teck will be the 5th top global copper producer, anchored by 6 world-class copper assets in well-established mining regions.
The new company will be called the Anglo-Teck Group. Officials say it will be one of the world's largest copper miners, and they've committed to establishing their corporate headquarters in Vancouver, with senior leadership based in Canada. Calgary-based Cenovus Energy is selling its 50% stake in WRB Refining for nearly $2 billion. The Canadian oil and natural gas company signed an agreement to sell the stake to its joint venture partner Phillips 66. Company officials say the proceeds will be used to reduce debt and buy back shares. The deal is expected to close around the end of September. The federal government's Canada Strong Pass initiative has come to an end. It was meant to get Canadians traveling within their own country, investing in domestic tourism. Maria Saru has more on the results.
Late summer on PEI, and a steady stream of people trek to Brackley Beach for a spot in the sand and a quick dip.
Going in the water?
We try to get out at least once a week, if we can, and we enjoy it.
That ritual was more affordable this year with the Canada Strong Pass. It was launched by the Mark Carney government in June and ended this week. The pass offered free admission to national parks and museums for many, discounted camping, plus lower via rail fares.
That certainly supported the people coming to the beach, and so all good.
New numbers show a 15% increase in attendance at national museums, 10% more visits at Parks Canada Places, and at least 50,000 Canada Strong Pass bookings on Via Rail, with final results in the coming weeks. Tourism operators in PEI say it came at the right time.
We kind of had this perfect storm of reasons for Canadians to explore Canada.
Some Canadian travelers are boycotting trips south of the border. In June, the number of return trips from the U.S. was down nearly 29% year over year. Canadians choosing to explore here at home also boosted local businesses.
We've certainly heard from operators that there's been an increase.
Now the push is on for a strong fall season, and at this national park, the crowds keep coming, soaking up the last days of summer. Maria Saru, CTV News, Brackley Beach, Prince Edward Island.
Welcome back to KP's Rescue 975, brought to you by London's Airport Kia. This week we are meeting 7-year-old Coco, arriving in style in a 2025 Kia Seltos. Coco is a French bulldog who has spent her life as a breeding dog. She's sweet, calm, and ready for something she's never truly had before, a family to call her own. After years of giving so much, it's finally her turn to receive love, patience, and a soft place to land. Coco is ready for her new life. Could it be with you? Visit happysplace.ca to fill out an application to adopt Coco. Lots of sunshine, a great photo to share with you this evening. Thank you so much, Janice from Mount Bridges, for sending this one in. Clear conditions with the risk of fog overnight. Lots of sunshine as we move through the rest of the week. Next opportunity for rain moving in late Saturday. Temperatures are headed up, feeling summer-like across the region.
The Prime Minister of Nepal has resigned in the wake of a violent and deadly protest triggered by a social media ban. Protests erupted again today as anti-corruption demonstrators defied an indefinite curfew, clashing with police. The landlocked country's main international airport has been closed because of the protests. At least 19 people have died, while the Prime Minister's residence went up in flames, what's considered Nepal's worst public unrest in decades. Ukrainian officials say Russia killed more than 20 civilians in an airstrike on an eastern village. This video shows the aftermath. The strike hit several kilometers behind the front line in Ukraine's eastern region. The victims were reportedly collecting their pensions at the time. New numbers show Canadian electric vehicle purchases are slowing down, largely due to the end of consumer incentive programs. On top of that, the Prime Minister has now paused the federal government's sales target for next year. Geneviève Beauchemin reports.
If Canadians were in the driver's seat, it seems Chinese-made EVs could have an easier road into the local market, at least according to a Nanos survey. It found 6 in 10 Canadians support removing 100% tax on all Chinese-made electric vehicles. This in hopes China may remove tariffs against Canadian crops like canola. Ottawa has said the tariffs are under review.
We'll see where that leads, but the discussions are ongoing and we're in a very fragile position.
Canada imposed that tariff in October 2024, saying it was protecting local manufacturers from unfair trade practices by China. But since, sales of EVs have hit bumps in the road. New numbers show EV sales dropped 39% since last year, and plug-in hybrids 2%. Statistics Canada points to rebates for zero-emission vehicles drying up. That drives up the cost of EVs. Some say a mix of incentives, mandates, but also a more open market could help boost sales.
It's going to be a more efficient transition if we open up the market so that anyone who can provide quality electric vehicles that our consumers choose to buy, there will be only that much more choice for consumers.
Without tariffs, but also without adding the costs of safety certification and shipping, the price tag for a Chinese-made Seagull by BYD, now the world's largest EV manufacturer, is around $13,800. Some in Canada's industry say the low cost could come at a high price.
Certainly, running around with a blind spot isn't good, but also giving away your market because pressure, because EV enthusiasts would like to see these Chinese vehicles. Well, the enthusiasts don't employ anybody.
Ottawa has said that Canadian consumers deserve cheaper EVs, but some manufacturers say scrapping tariffs isn't the way to go. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
London's top stories.
We have breaking news tonight out of Ottawa. The latest in the
breaking news alerts.
I'm tracking an area of severe weather. It'll start.
And watch live.
A development now to a story from City Hall we brought you.
Download the CTV News app.
Get ready to rock the runway. We want to hook you up with tickets to see Marshmello and Baby No Money.
September 13th at Rock the Runway. Tickets are on sale now, or listen to 97.5 Virgin Radio this week for your chance to win.
Welcome back. Finally tonight, a pair of Bruce County filmmakers heading out to the middle of Lake Superior. They're part of a documentary team sending their cameras down to the deepest depths of the Great Lakes. With more on what they hope to capture, here's Scott Miller.
The research vessel Blue Heron left Duluth this morning, steaming towards a once-in-a-lifetime underwater research opportunity in the middle of Lake Superior.
It's this really unique environment. It's basically this like underwater Everest is what we've been calling it anyway.
Covering 11 square kilometers and rising more than 300 meters off the lake bed, the Superior Shoal is the focus of a North American research mission currently underway. Along for the ride to document it all, a pair of Bruce County filmmakers.
There's a whole bunch of species that have never been on camera before alive that are right here in the Great Lakes, and a bunch of them live in those deep waters around the Superior Shoal.
Milnick and his partner have been exploring the largely undiscovered world of the Great Lakes for the past several years with their underwater robotic camera. 2 years ago, while shooting a documentary about invasive mussels, they discovered the 1895 shipwreck, the Africa, in Lake Huron.
We've all seen amazing footage of oceans and sharks and whales, but for the 40 million of us or so who live on the shores of the Great Lakes, there's a whole underwater world out there that we've barely seen.
The 9-day mission will focus on what role the Superior Shoal plays in the extensive Great Lakes ecosystem.
We've been doing a lot of work to try and understand how these things work and the role that it plays in supporting the broader large lake ecosystem. And in Lake Superior, it seems to be really important to these hotspots of high productivity for fish and other organisms.
Durbert and Melnick will be taking viewers along for the ride, hosting a live stream this Sunday of the undiscovered underwater world.
So those are big underwater mountains in the ocean, and they collect life. They're hot spots of biodiversity. And we think that that might also happen in fresh water, but nobody's ever looked at it before. So that's why we're heading out to the Superior Shoal, the biggest one in the world, to check that out.
In the Great Lakes, Scott Miller, CTV News.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For your latest local headlines, you can always head to our website. I'm back tonight with your late news at 11. Bye for now.